Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Graviton. Now, he made his very first appearance in Avengers, issue number 158, that was released in January of 1977. His complete name is Dr. Franklin, aka Frank Hall. And he's an extremely powerful, shall I say, Omega level mutate that stands 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighs 200 pounds, having blue eyes and gray hair. Now, all of Graviton's powers stem from gravity manipulation, possessing the ability to mentally manipulate gravitons and anti-gravitons on a macro or even quantum level. By these means, he can functionally generate vast superhuman strength, invulnerability, as well as speed. He can also naturally fly, generate concussive blasts that can have a force of up to 20,000 pounds of TNT, and generate basically impermeable force fields. And that's no exaggeration. Basically, dude has survived just outside of the sun with no damage at all. I can't stress enough that his control over gravity is absolute and very versatile. Naturally, he can not only levitate himself, but he can levitate others. And that includes things of immense scale, such as entire cities and islands. And yet, his control is so intricate that he can actually impart gravitational fields to other objects, as well as increase or decrease the natural gravitational pull on any opponent or object as well. And it's even been noted that his powers are so extensive that he can manipulate the very fabric of space-time around him, which on at least one occasion has actually been the cause of him being sent to a completely different dimension. And other than this, Graviton is actually a pretty good hand-to-hand combatant, despite not having any formal training. In addition to him being extremely smart, being a very experienced physicist. However, when you combine those two last facts together, you can easily see how it could result in his one true weakness, which is the nihilistic insanity that he has sometimes exhibited. Literally, his powers have caused him to go crazy, which Rogue even experienced for herself after absorbing his powers on one occasion. Now, we first see Dr. Franklin Hall as a brilliant but emotionally unstable physicist, who at one point had become transformed into the very conflicted supervillain known as Graviton. And ever since his dramatic debut, Hall's story has been one of unrequited love, megalomaniacal ambition, and a constant struggle with the very forces he commands. His recurring battles with the Avengers and other heroes have solidified his status as one of the most formidable threats in the Marvel Universe. A man whose psychological frailties are as dangerous as his control over a fundamental force of nature. His tragic story began at a secluded research facility in the Canadian Rockies. While working on a teleportation project, a miscalculation led to a catastrophic explosion that fused his molecular structure with graviton particles. This accident bestowed upon him the incredible ability to manipulate gravity itself, a power that quickly corrupted his already fragile psyche. And being driven by an obsessive and unreciprocated infatuation with his colleague named Judy and a newfound sense of superiority, Hall adopted the moniker Graviton and seized control of the research facility, lifting it into the sky as a demonstration of his might. And of course, an act this powerful drew the immediate attention of the Avengers, leading to the very first of many confrontations. However, during this first encounter, in a fit of rage and despair over Judy's apparent taking herself out, Graviton inadvertently caused the airborne facility to collapse around him, seemingly ending this threat. However, his so-called death would prove to be a temporary state for Franklin Hall. Matter of fact, he's returned from seeming oblivion on numerous occasions, with his intellect and sometimes powers repeatedly allowing him to come back on the scene even after he seems to have been gone. Each quote-unquote resurrection often brought with it a renewed and escalated sense of ambition. And his career as a supervillain has been marked by a series of very ambitious and destructive schemes. Over time, he has attempted to, and sometimes almost succeeded at controlling most of the world's cities, sought to create a new world under his own rule, and even vied for cosmic power. His emotional instability, however, has consistently been his Achilles heel. His unrequited affections and deep-seated insecurities have often been exploited by his heroic adversaries, leading to his repeated defeats. Nevertheless, throughout his tumultuous history, Graviton has been a persistent thorn in the side of the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, and numerous individual heroes. Dr. Hall has even briefly served as the Minister of Science for the technologically advanced villain organization known as AIM, or Advanced Idea Mechanics, further showcasing the dangerous combination of his intellect and power. Despite his villainous acts, there have been fleeting moments of what could be interpreted as a desire for redemption, or, at the very least, an end to his own destructive cycle. In one notable instance, he seemingly sacrificed himself to stop an alien invasion, and in another, he induced an aneurysm in his own brain to escape what he perceived as an unjust world. Yeah, dude is just off. So overall, Dr. Franklin Hall's journey as Graviton is a cautionary tale of power corrupting absolutely, especially when wielded by a mind plagued by emotional turmoil. His immense power over a fundamental force of the universe, coupled with his profound personal demons, ensures that whenever Graviton appears, the heroes of the Marvel Universe are faced with a threat of catastrophic proportions. And unfortunately, his legacy is one of devastation, obsession, and the tragic consequences of a brilliant mind warped by forces beyond its own control. Now, for his immense powers and abilities, and his significant influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Graviton a rating of 10, which is a legendary rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe to The New Sage.